All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you again for participating and being here in today's webinar on K through 8, our homeschool program. So we'll go ahead and get started with reviewing part 1. We're going to be reviewing how our homeschool program works. Part 2 reviews our K through 5 curriculum, and part 3 goes over our 6th through 8th grade curriculum. Let's go ahead and begin with a prayer. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. O Lord Jesus Christ, who said, "Greater love than this no man has, that a man laid down his life for his friends." Through the intercession of Saint Maximilian Kolbe, whose life illustrated such love, we ask you to answer our prayers. Grant, O Lord Jesus, that we too may give ourselves entirely without reserve to the love and service of our heavenly Queen, in order to better love and serve our fellow man, in imitation of your humble servant Maximilian. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Amen. Well, welcome everyone. My name is Ashley Massey. I'm an academic advisor here at Kolbe Academy, as well as the Dean of K through 8 students for Kolbe Academy. So if you're new to Kolbe, I want to review our mission, which you can read on the slide. So we are a mission-driven organization. That means we're here to provide affordable, customizable, and academically rigorous Catholic education throughout the world. We have students all over the globe using our curriculum, whether that's homeschooling or our online program or our self-paced courses. With salvation as our ultimate goal, our flexible approach allows parents to tailor their curriculum to best suit or aid their student in the formation in the Catholic tradition. And we know that each child learns in their own unique way, which our curriculum allows for. So some questions that might arise when you are considering going the homeschool route with your family. Now, it might come questions from inside your family or outside of why are you schooling at home? Well, the top reasons to change from schooling at an outside place to schooling in your home, whether that's traditional homeschooling or using our self-paced or our online learning roles, would be to change from a negative school environment to a positive school environment. There's lots of things maybe in a more brick and mortar setting that we don't want our students exposed to, and allowing our students to be schooled in the home allows a protective environment and a safe learning environment to happen. You might want to receive a higher quality of education. So homeschooling parents can control what their students are learning, and Kolbe Academy is a rigorous curriculum, and we choose a rigorous outside curriculums to use as well. So that way we can challenge our students in their learning in a classical format. We also offer college-ready classical curriculum to prepare your students for college if that's the route they are going to be taking. Another reason why you might want to change your students' learning place to be at home is to score higher on those standardized tests. Typically, we see that students have 15 to 30% higher scores on these tests compared to their peers that attend public school. We also want to touch base on, our Catechism of the Catholic Church states that, parents are the primary educators of their children, and homeschooling reintegrates this role as parent as the primary educator into the family life. Because we are traditional homeschoolers with our self-paced and our online courses as well, we do provide that flexible format, building and interweaving that faith formation aspect as well into our curriculum. So why enroll with Kolbe? Well, at Kolbe, you'll receive a classical Catholic education in the Ignatian method of learning. So we seek to form the whole person in truth, beauty, and goodness, with the end goal being that students will find salvation in Jesus Christ. Again, those pillars that we work off of is that we are Catholic, we are Orthodox in our beliefs, we are classical in focus, meaning that we're forming students' minds and souls, focusing on the great works of Western civilization in a premier math and science curriculum, and that we're customized. Again, we can allow for some flexibility in how you use our course plans or the different formats that your students might be taking courses in. Now, when you enroll with Kolbe, you will receive course plans for our courses, which we'll review a little bit about what those might look like for different grade levels. You'll receive advisor support for your family. So upcoming in the 22 to 23 school year, you will receive one family advisor who'll be working with all of the students that are enrolled at Kolbe in your family to create less maybe miscommunication between people and to provide streamlined service for reaching out to your advisor. We also offer record keeping. So for any course that you are enrolled at with Kolbe, you have the option to report grades to us, and then we will review those grades and issue a final grade and then give you your report card from Kolbe Academy for those courses. We are also accredited with Cognia. Again, we offer that customization of different courses. If you decide you'd like to use a non-Kolbe course in lieu of a course that we offer, you can switch those out easily. We offer standardized testing, which you can find more on our site about our standardized testing that we do in-house. We have a paper method and then an online method, along with teaming up with the classical learning test and a Latin national exam as well. And we have a fully stocked bookstore with all the books that you would need for our curriculum, including some extra, optional materials that you might need. We have spiritware. We have a great big coffee mug that everyone loves. So if you haven't visited our bookstore, go ahead and make sure you do that. Now for advisor support. Again, we are working off of the family advising model, so you will have one advisor for your family to communicate with. They'll help you pick out your courses, offer homeschooling help and advice, give you subject-specific help on picking out courses, or maybe if your student is working above or below level, you might need to enroll or register in a course maybe 2 levels higher or 2 levels lower than where they're at, and your advisor can help you do that. We also offer some special needs support in case you need to modify the curriculum. You are free to do that in the homeschooling program. Maybe you need to have some ideas of accommodations or changing the way that the student is learning in the home. And you do have unlimited access to your family advisor when you have any full-time enrollment with Kolbe Academy. Now, when it comes to homeschooling, we often are asked, how do we structure our day? So we want to start with those most difficult subjects first in the morning. So if that's usually math or science, you want to start those first thing when our brains are wide awake and functioning. We want to break up subjects. We want to, give students time to play, to have recreation, or to recreate, maybe outside if it's not too cold, you don't live in a place over winter that it's freezing. You also do want to have times of PE as well. Now, some families have multiple students, so the idea of homeschooling will be a little overwhelming. We do encourage families to combine subjects, particularly religion, history, and science. That's easy to do, to instruct a subject of religion and then have students maybe talk amongst themselves and then fill out their own respective work for their grade level courses for religion. It's a simpler way to construct your day and to streamline the instruction process for your students. And again, the time spent on different subjects varies by grade level. I am going to share a couple of links in the chat box. Now, as we go along today, I would like for you to feel free to, of course, post any questions you might have. I do have a Q&A box open that you can anonymously ask questions. I will review those questions at the end of today's presentation, so feel free to put things in there as we go along. I will post some links in the chat. What I've posted now is the program support guide that will give you an idea or a reference point on a chart of how much time a student at a particular grade level should be spending in the various subjects. It's a good way for parents to kind of see if their student's spending maybe too much time on a subject, they can begin to assess why or evaluate what's going on. Or maybe they're not spending enough time on a subject. We need to flesh that out a little bit more, give them a couple more activities. Now at Kolbe Academy, we offer 3 ways that we educate. So we're going to talk today about the traditional school at home courses. So those are typically we'd call homeschooling. You receive the course plans. It is parent directed, parent graded, and is offered in grades K through 12. Then we have our live online courses. That provides the most student interaction through those live courses. They have their own instructors, so it's instructor directed and instructor graded, so parents don't have to grade anything, and it is offered in grades K through 12 as well. Then in the middle of those traditional school at home courses and the live online courses, we offer self-paced courses. So those are also known as asynchronous courses, so students can work at their own pace. So you have recorded lectures every week. It is parent directed. We offer grading services, although it is still mostly parent graded, and it is offered in grades 7 through 12, although there are some courses that 6th graders can take if you're interested in self-paced. And again, because we are flexible and customized in our approach, you can enroll in some homeschool courses, enroll in some self-paced courses, and even add on a couple online courses if you're in 6th through 12th. In our online program for K through 5, it is the fully encompassing program, so all the subjects are with your enrollment, so you can't pick and choose courses in our online program as much as you can in our 6th through 12th program for online. So again, today we're focusing on the traditional school at home program we offer. So when you receive course plans, you have the exams that are provided, you have a daily guide for grades 1st grade through 12th grade, which goes Monday through Thursday. So Friday, whether it's in our homeschool course plans or in our online live courses, Friday is a day off from school that you as the parent can choose what to do, to either have as a day to catch up on homework, or maybe that's the day extracurricular activities or out of the home activities, or maybe it's a day for grandparents to come over or family members to visit. It could be a baking day, whatever you need it to be. Friday can be that day for you because those course plans are only written from Monday through Thursday. Again, you can modify our homeschool courses in any way that you need. We find a lot of our families who have students with special learning needs love to go our homeschool route because they have that freedom to modify as needed. If you would like grades reported and Kolbe Academy to be your school of record for those grades, you would send in sample work for credit for each quarter or semester. Now, you don't have to report those grades at the end of the quarter or semester. You can wait until the end of the school year to do that. Now, our homeschool courses are graded by the parent, but we also offer a grading service called Homeschool Plus. So Homeschool Plus is available if you have a full-time enrollment for students in grades 3 through 12th grade. You can purchase blocks of assignments to be graded in groupings of 10, 20, or 50. An evaluator will be assigned for each student, which is really great. It really builds upon the evaluator's feedback for that student throughout the school year. So the feedback will be given by that evaluator with a grade assigned to that assignment from the evaluator. What's great about this is that you can even submit non-Kolbe composition pieces. So some families who are maybe using an outside curriculum can also submit those composition samples to be graded, because most families, most parents don't want to be grading their students' composition works, and that's completely understandable. This would be that resource that you'd want to add on to your course registration. So reviewing our course plans, again, we have a weekly layout in kindergarten. So that means every week it will walk you through what you should be doing with your student. And then we have that daily layout in grades 1st grade through 8th grade, and that school week is Monday through Thursday. Now, all of our components in our curriculum guide students through the 4 stages of intellectual development, which includes understanding what is read, retention of explicit information, recognition of implicit concepts, and then making connections, which is building mastery. So our course plans give you the roadmap through those 1st, 3rd, and 4th stages. We're going to show you a sample of those course plans. This would be a math program for grade level 2. So we can see on the left column are days with student daily assignments. So there we have acronyms for the books that are used, which I believe this is Singapore math, so primary math, I believe. And then it will tell you, it gives you check boxes for those of us who like to make lists and check them off. It's great for students as well to check off things that are done as they are completed. And then it has parent daily guidelines. So maybe things to read with your student, to review, optional activities. Now, we do offer samples of all of our course plans on our website. I'm going to go ahead and share this link with you now. You can see those course plan samples. It's usually about 5 to 7 or 8 pages, depending upon the course, for every single grade level. So it really gives you a peek into what the student will be learning and offers you kind of a view of what is the scope of that course. Now for grade reporting. You never want to make parents feel that grade reporting is required by Kolbe Academy. It is a service that we provide. So if you don't see the need of reporting grades to us, you certainly do not have to go that route. However, if you do want to report grades to us, this is the process for doing so. In grades K through 5, your reporting would be quarterly, in the quarterly format, since that's their school year and how it's broken apart. In grades 6 through 12, that reporting is at the end of each semester, but again, you can choose to report at the end of the year if you desire. Now, what will you submit? You would submit a grade submission form and sample work. So that would be 1 student completed sample graded by parent per quarter per subject, or 2 student completed samples graded by parent per semester per subject. So that's the difference of 1 sample in grades 1 through 5, or 2 samples for students in grades 6 through 12. Kindergarten samples are optional. You don't have to do that. For our families living in California who need to track attendance, we will track attendance through the attendance record that you submit with your grade report. And we do offer a separate website with all of the grade reporting documents that you would need. Now, once you've completed all of these things and assimilated your parent report card and your checklist and the sample work into a grade submission portfolio, you would email that to our email address on the screen, or you can mail us paper copies. So we have 2 options of how to submit grades. So that's a little bit about our program. I now want to delve into our curriculum. So when we are considering what subjects to register our students in grades K through 5, the greatest emphasis should be placed on religion, language arts, and math courses, and gradually introducing science and history more regularly as time allows in your schedule. Some students will, of course, begin a foreign language in elementary school, but it is not a requirement. So we're going to review our religion in K through 5. We see that in kindergarten, we have the Who Am I textbook. We also have a set of 26 books that goes along with this program. Students will then move into the Faith and Life series. And in 1st and 2nd grade, it's joined with the St. Joseph First Communion and Catechism. In 3rd through 5th grade, that is swapped out for the St. Joseph Baltimore Catechism. Now, what's unique about this program is some parishes will allow our 1st and 2nd grade religion courses, that First Communion Catechism, to satisfy their First Communion prep requirement. So you might want to check with your pastor to see if that is something that would be allowed. Now, when you enroll in or register in these courses, you can choose to follow the framework of the Faith and Life series, or you can choose to follow the framework of the Baltimore Catechism as is laid out in the course plans, but you're only going to choose one to kind of follow and then use the other book as supplementary material. For language arts, in kindergarten, we have language arts includes reading and phonics, which is directed to the development of the student in the capacity to recognize letters of the alphabet, learn the pronunciation, and memorize approximately 50 high-frequency words. You can see the textbook Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, which some families have found a bit difficult to use. It is a structured phonics-based reading program. Many of us don't remember being taught how to read, but this is a program that will teach your child how to read using a phonics-based program. Now, by the end of the program, the student will be able to competently read books and passages written at about a 2nd grade level. We also recommend the use of Kolbe's phonogram flashcards to integrate with this textbook. Now, the phonics book, it is not necessary to have, however, it's good to have on hand in case you would like more review on maybe learning certain letters or sounds or things, and then you would rearrange your course plan days to match the letters taught in 100 Easy Lessons. So you can use that phonics books as a supplement to teach your child to read. Now, in 1st and 2nd grades, we see that English grammar and spelling has been added on. English grammar at these 2 levels is a curriculum that's actually published by Kolbe Academy that is written by one of our founders. Moving on to 3 through 5th grades for language arts, we're now transitioning from our Kolbe Academy English grammar to our Voyages in English text. Now, this is the text that will be used in grades 3 through 8 for both grammar and composition. So Voyages in English offers comprehensive language arts instruction. It builds students' confidence as effective writers, readers, listeners, and speakers. The textbook is organized into 2 related yet distinct parts, grammar and writing. The course includes lessons which integrate these 2 parts to show the relationship between grammar and writing. So So that's the voyages that will be used from now on in 3rd through 8th grade. We see that vocabulary begins in 3rd grade using Sadlier's vocab workshop book. Phonics now becomes a course that parents can opt to remove in the 3rd grade. This is if students no longer read this course because they can read fluently, but you can keep it on to reinforce what the student is learning in English and spelling. We also see that reading becomes a course that you can opt to remove if you choose. For our literature program. So our reading program and our literature program serve similar purposes, but they're accomplished through different means. Our reading program typically, well, ours specifically uses a basal reader or an anthology of short stories, poems, excerpts from longer works that are designed to build on previous skills that have been learned. We use the Catholic National Reader as our basal reader in our reading program. In our literature program, we are reading full text. So still teaching your child how to read, but using a different method, using full text stories. They include a wide range of genres, and the obvious difference would be the length of the stories that are read. Reading complete books in this way does allow a student to experience character development while they're learning how to identify the plot, the theme, and the message the author has created. Now, both in our reading and our literature programs, they include comprehensive questions, vocabulary, to keep you working on those skills with your student. So both reading and literature do that. So again, think of them as accomplishing the same task, just going about it at a different way. So that's where you might not want to have your student completing both reading and literature, but opt for one or the other beginning in that 3rd grade year. Now, another optional add-on, which usually begins in the 4th grade, although it can begin sooner or later as you see fit, is the addition of our classical composition. So this is a course that is based upon 14 stages. We carry 5 stages at Kolbe. Students are learning to communicate through the written word, and to prepare them for the rigors of writing in high school, especially at Kolbe Academy, this is a great course to have your student complete. For parents who choose to use the classical composition series alongside our English grammar and composition course with voyages, we'll have to modify a little bit. So you can choose to use the English composition lessons as your main form of instruction for composition, and then have the student complete classical composition at their own pace for enrichment. Or if you're using voyages and classical comp, you can only do the grammar portion from voyages and then complete the composition with classical composition, leaving out the composition part of the textbook in voyages, because that voyages book, it's literally split. 1/2 is grammar, 1/2 is composition. So it's very easy to ignore that composition piece in voyages and opt in to take classical composition in the 4th grade. Again, it's an optional add-in. You don't have to do that if you would prefer not to. Although I will say some of our students who do not like to write or find it difficult do enjoy or learn to enjoy writing with classical composition, as it is based upon copying those fables and narratives until they're able to create their own work. For penmanship, we have a curriculum that builds handwriting skills in a developmentally appropriate sequence, from writing readiness skills to handwriting mastery. Now, there are many benefits to including handwriting in an elementary course of study. For the youngest students, learning to write using a systematic approach helps with important motor skills and cognitive development. As students mature, a handwriting program will reinforce these skills and train the brain through copywork and repetition. At all grade levels, a handwriting program encourages students to develop good handwriting habits necessary for turning in neat and orderly written work. So we do offer books in K through 5 that you can see here, Writing Our Catholic Faith, which integrates our faith into penmanship. And then, of course, we have history. History at the kindergarten level, or I'm sorry, at the 2nd grade level, it includes the child's Bible history, which is kind of a combining of religion and history. So the core and meaning of all history is the history of our salvation. So history rightly begins with salvation history. So the grade 2 history course is designed to supplement the study of religion by familiarizing the student with the chief figures and events of the Old and New Testament. These include creation of the fall of man, Abraham, Joseph, Moses, and the Exodus, and the life of Jesus, and his suffering, death, and resurrection. In third grade, we have a new program called Stories of a Changing World. It's our brand new history program. It gives students an overview of ancient through modern day world history through 56 select biographical narratives of civil leaders, explorers, inventors, pioneers in the arts and sciences, and faithful servants of God. The course provides a foundation of knowledge about the influence of these important figures throughout history. Each lesson includes key vocab terms, timeline work, as well as close reading and reflection activities which highlight the significant virtues and accomplishments of these historical figures. So it's a new program. We're very excited to start offering it to our families. Now in 4th and 5th grades, we see that we're offering 2 different options here. So they can study ancient history, which is famous men of Greece and Rome. So it introduces the student to great figures of ancient Greece and Roman history and myth, and to trace the historical rise and lasting influence of those civilizations. Or you can opt to do world history, which is our Founders of Freedom book. It's the Land of Our Lady series. This series is written around, I think, the 60s. So it's more of an old school curriculum if that's what you're looking for. So that's going to concentrate on ancient and medieval world, the events that led up to the founding of the United States of America. It will be drawn from the beginnings of history throughout the foundations of America. Then we have American history in 5th grade. That's from Sea to Shining Sea. So that introduces the student to obtain that broad Catholic understanding of the anthropological history of the Americas up until about the last decade. Catholic textbook project is a great textbook. Our students love it. It's very colorful. It engages them in a way that is found to be pretty unique, and they just enjoy history. It comes alive. If you'd like to opt for the other option in history, in grade 5, you have the Bearers of Freedom, which again is that Land of Our Lady series. So students will learn to evaluate and discuss the relationships among peoples, events, places, and dates in the course. So it covers the exploring age, including the route to India and founding of America, pioneers in the Southeast, Southwest, and California, the discovery of the land between the Great Lakes, the Gulf of Mexico, the 13 colonies, and the dividing of the French lands into English possession. So that's history. We'll move into geography. So geography is pretty straightforward. We offer it in 1st grade through 5th grade. And in our geography curriculum, students are taught to apply the geography lessons to the world around the student. Now math. Math, we have 2 options. Now these look a little bit different. So if you've homeschooled with us before, you'll notice that we have the option of MCP, or Modern Curriculum Press, in kindergarten, or using Singapore. So Modern Curriculum Press, it's a straightforward, traditional elementary math curriculum which utilizes a consumable student book containing daily worksheets. The program does not require a large amount of hands-on time by the parent to explain the lessons, and it sort of lacks complexity for younger students. So that was offered in kindergarten. Then we have Singapore Math. That's offered in grades kindergarten through 5th grade. So that uses modality learning. So it is a series that allows the students in primary grades to retain the same math curriculum in the lower elementary grades and then transition into a new curriculum for pre-algebra and algebra if appropriate in junior high school. So the concepts in Singapore are drilled. So students will learn a concept for several lessons on how to do something with increasing difficulty with each lesson. It has a set of books labeled A and B. So if you are needing to start the school year at the beginning of the school year or in the middle, you can either choose to begin with A or start towards the middle with the B book. So allow some flexibility to there. It does require the most amount of time for parents to provide oversight, especially that first year using Singapore compared to Sadlier. So if parents, you're interested in starting with Singapore, you want to start it in earlier grades and you want to start younger rather than changing it later down the road, because it could prove difficult for you in teaching the course and your student for picking up a new way of learning math. So I would say start it young if you're wanting to try that. Then, of course, we have our new main option in Sadlier. So if you were homeschooling with us for a while, we used to offer Modern Curriculum Press as our option 1 in grades K through 3. That change occurred because Modern Curriculum Press did not offer courses throughout the 8th grade. So it was, you'd have to only do it to the 3rd grade, and then you'd have to switch to another program, which is not helpful for a lot of students who are learning math. So we went with Sadlier instead, which provides math for 1st through 8th grade. So it is a traditional math style. It works in a linear approach. It provides more real-world application, which is what we want to provide for our students. It requires minimal lesson preparation by the parent and is highly recommended for parents due to homeschooling or transferring into our program. If you have multiple children, it's easy to split your time, and it's good for children that are not necessarily hands-on learners or conceptual learners. So we found that that program fit our students' needs better. Now, of course, if you're a longtime family homeschooling with us, we do offer Modern Curriculum Press at K through 3 and Saxon as archive courses. So if you're interested in those, you can just make a note on your course registration form and talk that through with your advisor. For science, kindergarten science, we're using that science and living in God's World curriculum, which teaches students about the world in a delightful and simple way to introduce students to the wonders of God's creation and appreciating God and the world around them. So you can choose to use that curriculum in 1st and 2nd grade as well. We offer a science experiments recipe book available in the Kolbe bookstore, which does make a wonderful companion to this course and makes the course kind of come alive. Now, our other option is Harcourt Science. So we have 3 Harcourt Science textbooks, which contains 2 years of instructions. So that's why you see those 2 grade levels. Harcourt 1 and Harcourt 2 is used in grades 1 and 2. Harcourt 3-4 is used in 3rd and 4th grade, and Harcourt 5-6 is an option to use, was used in 5th grade and an option to use in 6th grade. So for each grade level, the series will offer students a chance to complete units of instruction in life science, earth science, and physical science. And then, of course, we have our optional foreign language. Again, not a requirement to have your student take a foreign language course, but we do offer it if you'd like them to. So starting out in the 3rd grade, we offer kind of a very beginner's guide to Latin, which is Latina Christiana. It's a wonderful way to introduce children to the Latin language if they already have not been introduced. The course materials, they're very user-friendly and can be completed as written for a structured introductory Latin course, or you can use it as enrichment as time allows in your schedule. We're also using the little Latin readers after the 3rd grade into the 4th grade. Now, again, you can use the little Latin readers outside of the recommendation of beginning in 4th grade. Maybe you want to start it in 5th grade or 6th grade. You're just going to start at the very first place. So if your student is taking Latin for the first time, you're going to want to start with Elementary Latin 1. So this is a newer series of courses for us at Kolbe. So we're adding a new textbook from this series each year until the entire 6-book set is available. So Little Latin Readers, it's academically structured in a way for the elementary student to begin learning in 3rd grade, continue on to 8th grade. Students can begin at their own grade level without completing the prior courses, but they'd have to be very motivated with a strong grasp of the language arts, particularly grammar. So if your student is struggling, that's where you're going to want to start at the beginning. Even students who do start at the beginning and they're older, we find that they can complete, if you're in 6th, 7th, 8th grade, maybe complete Elementary Latin 1 in the 1st semester and then Elementary Latin 2 in your 2nd semester. Students who have completed all of the courses in this series or the 6th course will be ready to take Henley Latin 2 upon entering the 9th grade. So that's the 2nd high school Latin course that they would be eligible to take. And that sums up our K through 5 curriculum offerings for our homeschool program. We're going to go ahead and move into our 6th through 8th grade options. So in these grades, a greater emphasis is going to be placed on regularly including history and science in addition to the religion, language arts, and math that K through 5 was building on to ensure that the student is prepared for high school. Foreign language is still considered optional in middle school and junior high. So religion, there's not much change to religion in 6th grade. We're continuing on with that Faith and Life series, including that St. Joseph Baltimore Catechism, again, allowing parents to choose the framework they want to work off of, either Faith and Life series, supplementing it with the catechism, or using the catechism and supplementing it with the Faith and Life series. In 7th and 8th grade, we see an addition of a Bible history course. So grade 7 Bible history covers most of the Old Testament, one half of the textbook. The last part of the Old Testament and the New Testament are covered in the 8th grade Bible history course. This course is guided by the Catechism of the Catholic Church. The text presents an important aspect for one who's going to be educated with a classical curriculum because it shows how God uses all cultures and peoples to bring about the redemption of mankind through his Son, Jesus Christ. So if you are registering your 7th or 8th grader with us and you are enrolling or registering in religion and Bible history 7, you actually have 2 courses in one. So you can choose to have your student do the religion 7 course, or you can have them do the Bible history 7 course, or they can complete both of those courses in 1 year. It's up to you how you'd like to choose to teach your child those courses and report those grades to us. For language arts, we're continuing with our Voyages in English series. We again have literature, vocabulary is still offered with optional courses of reading, still have that Catholic National Reader, our phonics program if your student's still struggling with reading, and classical composition. 7th grade, same thing, although we see that reading has been taken away along with phonics. 8th grade, we have the similar situation as 7th grade with classical composition, finishing up with the last stage that we offer called Common Topic, which is a 1-semester course. We do continue to offer penmanship in 6th and 7th grades, which you can find those books in our bookstore. Now, I should note that our penmanship or handwriting courses is not a course you have to register in when you're registering with us, but you can report it for a grade if you prefer. For history, we again offer both programs, Catholic Textbook Project. So 6th grade, we have All Ye Lands, and then Light to the Nations 1 and 2 for 7th and 8th grade. Those are the same textbooks that are used in 2 of our history programs in high school that are just more thoroughly delved into or taught at the high school level, but it is kind of like an intro at the middle school level. Or you can choose to use that Land of Our Lady series, which is the older textbook. Some find it less engaging, but if that's what you're looking for, an older text for history, you'd want to go with the Land of Our Lady series. For math, we're again continuing with progress in mathematics, which is Sadlier. You also have that option for Singapore math in 6th grade. Then in 7th grade, we are starting our pre-algebra work with Sadlier. We also have that Saxon, which we offer as an archived course. And then 8th grade, you can have students take Foundations of Algebra 8, which again is pre-algebra, learning some algebra skills, or if they have taken a pre-algebra course already or completed Fundamentals of Algebra 7 with a passing score, usually an A or higher, they are ready for Algebra 1 in 8th grade, which is a high school level course. For science, again, we see that Harcourt 5-6, so you're using the second half of that book for their 6th grade year, or you can opt to begin middle school life science in 6th grade. Then in 7th grade, you would be taking earth science if you started with life science in 6th grade, or if you're finished Harcourt in 6th grade, you would opt for life science in 7th grade. And then in 8th grade, depending upon what courses you previously took, you'd either be taking earth science or physical science. So physical science is a course that students should be taking while taking Algebra 1, or if they have already completed Algebra 1. So you don't have to rush to complete these courses so that your student can take high school courses in 8th grade. But if you have an 8th grader with us, they can take a high school level science, math, or foreign language course for high school credit. So that would be the physical science course is a high school level course that an 8th grader can take for high school credit. And then we have the optional foreign language courses. Again, Latin here, we have our different options. We have our forms that we still offer as archived courses, or we're continuing on with our Little Latin readers. If you have an 8th grade student and they want to earn high school credit, they can of course start with Henley Latin 1, which is Latin 1. And we also offer Greek in 7th and 8th grade. It is a basic Greek course. It's not a fully encompassing course as the Latin course would be, but some students do find it useful to take, and we often see students who are interested in foreign languages taking Greek and Latin at the same time. All right, as I previously mentioned, you can earn high school credit for students who are in the 8th grade who are taking a high school level math, science, and or foreign language course. So you would need to either register in our Kolbe course, or if they're taking it at an outside institution, you would transfer that into us from another school on an official transcript, which your advisor can walk you through that process. For our 8th graders, we do offer a diploma. You do have to be enrolled with Kolbe the entire school year and complete at least 5 academic courses, including religion, English, and math. So now that you understand a little bit about our curriculum, if you're looking to enroll, we offer 4 different types of enrollment. Our full-time online enrollment is typically for students taking mostly online courses. So it includes 6 online courses or labs you can add on. So most people who are homeschooling using traditional course plans are not going to be enrolling full-time online. Rather, you would choose full-time standard. So that's if you are typically homeschooling most of your courses. You can again add on a self-paced course, online courses as you see fit. With the full-time standard enrollment, you do receive a bookstore credit that varies in amount depending upon the grade level of your student. And usually that bookstore credit will cover the cost of all of the necessary books that you need for your courses. You may also have leftover credit that you can continue to buy other books or spiritware in our bookstore. Now, if you are a homeschooling family and you have books everywhere, you don't need a bookstore credit, you would want to enroll in full-time flex enrollment. So that flex just means it does not come with the bookstore credit because you already have the books at home, or you plan on purchasing them or getting them lended to you from another family. And then we have our part-time enrollment. Our part-time enrollment is usually for parents who have students who just want to take 1 or 2 Kolbe courses. You cannot enroll in non-Kolbe courses with part-time enrollment, but you can with any full-time enrollment. So if you would like to get started at Kolbe Academy, we do accept applications all year round. So you can go to our page, which I will share in our chat box. There are a few steps to getting started. There's usually about 6 steps. With that page, we'll walk you through all of those steps. So for brand new students, you're going to complete step 1, which is applying to enroll. Then you would complete step 2, which you should be notified via email. And that's when you're going to pick your enrollment model for your family. And that's one of the 4 enrollment types I just covered: full-time online, full-time standard, full-time flex, or part-time. After you have applied and you finish your enrollment, then you will register in courses. And that's picking out the courses that we've talked about today. That is already opened. We opened our course registration this past March, and you will receive an email about how to register for courses once you have finished enrolling with us. Again, I'm going to reshare some of those links in our chat box. We have our course plan link if you would like to review any of our course plans. Another resource that I find particularly helpful is our Kolbe program guide. The program guide is vital for any homeschooling family to use, as it does provide so much homeschooling information: how to lay out your day, how much time your students should be taking on completing different things, ideas of how to homeschool. It reviews a lot of the information that we've shared here today about the difference between, reading and literature, or when you would include classical composition in voyages, and how to accommodate completing both of those subjects at the same time. So that is something that will be important for you to review. It's a very thorough handbook, contains a lot of information. So I'm going to go ahead and let you all post any questions you might have that have come up over the course of this presentation. Again, thank you all for being here. I'm going to post our course catalog as well, which provides more information about our courses and which different formats they're offered at. So I'll give everyone a moment to get their questions posted. All right, I see some questions coming in. All right. I would say for specific questions about how to transition between math courses, you are going to want to reach out to your family advisor once you've enrolled to kind of work through those things to figure out which of our math courses might be the best pick for your student, because every student is very different. The different links that I have shared will be in the chat box. There's a question about the Little Latin Reader for Book 4. If it's available this year, I'll have to tell you I am not sure. You can email to verify if you'd like. If you're not already enrolled with us, you can email advisors@kolbe.org. If you are already enrolled and registered with us, you want to reach out to your family advisor for that question. One question is, can you enroll your student for full-time flex and then later upgrade to full-time standard once you have a better handle on how many books you'll be buying? Yes, of course you can. Whoops, sorry about that. You can change your enrollment type. When you enroll and register in courses, when you have a full-time enrollment, you will receive a bookstore draft order to let you know all the books that you will need. So it's kind of organized in a great way to help you understand what books and what your cost might be. We have a question. How does Kolbe Academy stimulate sports? We do not in any way facilitate students meeting up to do sports in any way or any activities in person. We do have a live graduation where students are interacting one-on-one. We do have Facebook pages that are closed group, and they're open for families who have students graduating in a certain graduation year to join. So if you have a third grader right now, they will be in a, well, you as a parent would be in a Facebook group with other parents who all have students in third grade who are set to graduate the same year, for you to interact with one another, to see who's in your area, or to maybe facilitate meeting up. A lot of our homeschooling families go on vacations in other states to meet other homeschooling families. In our larger Kolbe group, you can post about where you live and see if anyone else lives in your area. Through our online learning system, Schoology, we do have a parent directory where you can find other parents to contact and see if they're in your area. So we do not offer any in-person activities for social interaction. See any other questions? Another question is the full online program, does it include grading? So our homeschool program is not, it does not include grading. It is parent instructed. Parent will be grading the courses, although you can add on that optional service of Homeschool Plus, where you buy certain blocks of assignments that you can submit. So if you want 10 assignments submitted, you'd purchase a 10 assignment block. If you would like more, we offer all the way up to 50. If you find that you need more than 50, you can just buy another block of 10, 20, or 50, however many you might need, to have someone else grade the work. Although we do provide answer keys for any questions that we assign in our course plans for you to have for grading purposes. So you will have the answers to the questions that we assign in our course plans. All right. Again, I thank you all for participating in today's K-8 webinar. If you have any further questions, I would encourage you to email advisors@kolbe.org, or if you are enrolled and registered, reach out to your family advisor for specific questions. Again, advisors really love working one-on-one with families, learning about specific students' needs and how our curriculum and our many options might best work for that student. So again, it's often more or most useful to speak to someone about your specific student after you've enrolled to get a better picture of what you're needing. So thank you again for coming. If you have questions, advisors@kolbe.org. Have a great and holy blessed, or a great blessed holy week, and celebrate the glory and joy of the resurrection on Sunday. God bless. Bye.